Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a Khan Academy tutorial on systems of inequalities graphs. I have about 8 minutes before this bell rings, so hopefully we'll finish in time. So we have here y is greater than or equal to negative 1/3 x plus 2, and then y is greater than or equal to 3x. Now, when we're talking about a system of inequalities solution, we're talking about where both of these are true. So these need to be both true. Now, what we do is we graph each separately, and then we see where they overlap. So we're looking essentially for the overlap of both of these. Now, in order to understand systems of inequalities, we have to understand how to graph these by themselves. So I'm going to just take a quick glance here. It looks like 3x. This one's going to be like the green one, and the other one's going to be blue. Okay, so first thing we have to do is we have to graph. We have to pretend we're just graphing y equals 3x. So you must know how to graph it in slope-intercept form. If you're not familiar with that, I would suggest watching some of my previous videos, but we're going to go with the assumption that you already know how to do that. So once you graph the line, now we're considering two different things. Number one, we're considering the inequality sign. So number one, the inequality. If it's this or this, so greater than, less than, we're talking about a dotted line, okay? Because it cannot include the value that's on the line. If it is greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, we're talking about a solid line. So that's our first clue. The second thing we need to consider, I thought I changed this to purple. The second thing we need to consider is where is y in relation to the inequality. If it's y is greater than or y is greater than or equal to, so think y is bigger, we're going to shade above the line. Shade above. If it's y is less than or y is less than or equal to, of course we're going to shade below the line. That's because we're talking about the y values, the vertical values up and down, and if it's less than, we're thinking down. Okay, that's the less than values. If we go smaller y, we're talking about going down on the coordinate plane. If we're shading above, y is greater than, we're shading up. Okay, so those are our two clues. So if we're looking at y is greater than or equal to 3x, we're thinking we're going to be shading above, and it's going to be a solid line. Okay, let's look at the other one. That was the green one. So the green one is this guy. So we're shading above the green one, and it's a solid line. And for the blue one, we're shading above this line, negative 1/3x plus 2. The y-intercept is 2. This y-intercept is 0, by the way. It's plus 0. And this guy is shading above, and it's solid also. So we're going to look for those cases. So let's see here. Okay, so we have a bunch to consider. Notice how B, C, and D all have a dotted line, okay, for all of these. So that's bad. We don't want that. We know we have two solid lines based on the inequalities there, the greater than, and we're shading above both those lines. This is the part that confuses people. Shading above simply means that we pick any point, and if it's a point above where we picked, then we shade. So for example, we pick this point, doesn't matter, it's on the line, and we pick above, so we're going to shade everything on this side. For the blue line, if we're shading above, and we are, we pick a point somewhere above that is here, and we shade above, okay? Now, just so you give an indication of what the solution is, it's where they overlap. So you can see that the overlap happens here. They both belong in this little sector here, and that would be your solution, okay? So if you ever have a problem that's beyond just multiple choice, that's how you would find the solution to a system of inequalities. We're going to go with A. And there we go. Okay, look here. Okay, the first thing we're going to consider is boundary lines for each one of these. It looks like 1/3 x is going to be our green line, and the other one's blue. We have a dotted line for both of them. Okay, so we have dotted line for both, but it's shading in different spots. So this one, y is greater than, so we're going to shade above. This one, we have y is less than, so we're going to shade below. So we need to have two dotted lines. Okay, this one has two dotted lines. They all have two dotted lines, but we need to have one shaded above and one shaded below. So the first thing we need to do is identify the green line. The green line is going to be dotted through the y-intercept of -1, but we want to shade below this. So we need to have this area all shaded, okay? And then the blue line is dotted like this, and we're going to be shading above So it's not looking like it's going to cross at a very big section. It only looks like we're going to have an intersection here because it's going to be above the blue line and below the green line. Only in that little spot right there. That's our solution to the system. So let's go ahead and look for that. I think we have our answer here with B. It's below the green line. It's above the blue line. And the intersection is that little quadrant there. Let's check it out. Yes, it is. Next question. Okay, so we have one solid, one dotted. Okay, I'm guessing this one is the green, so we have solid. Okay, and this one is dotted. And both are below. Okay, so we're going to look for that. So one solid. Okay, that's the -1 intercept. One dotted, that's the blue one. Okay, and guess what? There's only one that matches that description. Both of them are graphed below here. This is our answer. Now pause it here if you want to analyze why I chose that so quickly, but I'm going to move on to the next question. Okay, so both are solid. Okay, so see if we can, nope, all of them are solid here. Can't eliminate any right off the bat. And then we have, this one's going to be shaded below the line because its y is less than or equal to. This one we're going to shade above because it's greater than or equal to. So we're going to look for the intercept of -2 and graph above there. And then we're going to look for the intercept of -3 and graph below, shade below there. Okay, so I think this one, A, is both below, so we don't want that. Notice how it's shaded below here. If we chose any point, it'd be below. This one, choose any point, it's below. Okay, so it's not A. Okay, we want it above green and below blue. I think our answer is B, just from my initial assumption here, because we want it below blue. Okay, blue is here. Oops, it moved with me. I didn't want it to move. Okay, blue's here and shaded below. That's good. Green's here. We want it shaded above. That's good. That makes our intersection there. I just want to double check all my other answers. This one's shaded below, but blue is shaded above. That's not right. This one's both shaded below, so it's definitely B. Pause it at that one screen if you want. Here, let me see if I can line it up. I think I gotta go like this. There we go. Check that out. That's my solution. This would be my solution area. And it looks like I finished before the bell rang. There we go. Hopefully you'll be hearing this noise of success. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.